Hey y'all. So this is Trish checking in with another episode of Echoes Through the Ethers. Okay. Beyond the root to the seed. Okay, y'all. Today's share, I'm just gonna kind of wing it a little bit and just kind of talk about the energy concurrently that I am sitting in. But before I talk about that, I do want to talk about the energy that I just came out of, and then the energy that I'm getting ready to, that I shifted into from that energy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a transition, alchemy, transitional magic, whatever you want to call it. But I alchemized the energy and it helped me shift my timeline. So I'm gonna talk about that. When I talk about certain things, you guys, I like to talk about it using words that are not necessarily hit words, popular hit words, because one of the things is when I first woke up spiritually and I used to look at like videos, I had no damn clue on what people were referring to. When they use words like frequency or, I don't know, timeline shifts or alchemy. And yeah, for sure, that led me into a journey of studying to understand different concepts and to be able to identify them. But me deciding to now be in a space where I'm ready to speak up and speak out and communicate about myself, my practices, share, teach, do all of those things. One of the things is I wanted to be what I needed when I first woke up. And I just needed clarity, refinement. I needed somebody to just keep it jiggy with me, like just keep it at a street level. Like, can you communicate and just keep it real and practical and grounded, without the extra fluff, without the extra woo woo language all the way up here, because not everybody can climb up there. Not everybody can climb up there. And it take time for sure. But I decided for my platform, I didn't necessarily want to do that. I will be using the words, but I will be throughout clarifying them, refining them so you understand what that looks like in the practical world. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's the biggest thing. It's like we have the three different worlds. We have the archetypal, we have the metaphysical, and then we have the physical, right? So the physical is everything that we see, hear, taste, touch, whatever. And then we have the metaphysical, which is the unseen realm. You don't see your emotions, right? You can't see the scents in the air that you smell, but you they're unseen, but they're there, right? That's the metaphysical world. And then you got the archetypal world. That comes before the metaphysical world. So it's the archetypal world first, the metaphysical world second, and the physical world third. And so for the archetypal world, what that is like your downloads, your channels, your frequency. That's radio frequency, right? So it's like, that's why on my TikTok page, I'm Radio Head Goddess. Radio, meaning frequency, transmissions. My darn headphones keep popping out. Hold on, y'all. There we go. That's Radiohead Goddess. I pick up like downloads and things. So Radiohead, that's what it is. And so one of the main things, that's where it lies. So with that being said, y'all, Those are the three worlds and the way that things come into the physical world. So, um, last week, about, I say for like the last month, let's talk about the past, bring it into the present. Um, and it's not, and you can look at it as the past, or you can look at it as, because time is an illusion. But I look at it more as like spirals, cycles, phases, right? So I guess that it would be more in tune to use those words. So the phase that I'm just now transitioning out of, that I just alchemized myself out of, is a phase of sacred emotions. And I share more about this on my Patreon. I literally recorded my crash out because I had a few of them, y'all. I had a few of them. I don't know. Let me know if you guys are experienced dealing with sacred emotions. So what that looks like is, dealing with a lot of anger, dealing with a lot of being triggered by other people, things, places, systems, protocols. It seemed like the phase, the cycle that I've just transitioned and alchemized myself out of, um, was that of sacred emotions. And one of the things, just to keep it really high level, I just really recognize I'm an Aquarius sun sign, y'all. I'm 11 life path, and I have a fucking stellium, which is like 6 or 7 planets in Aqua and around Aqua. Um, and for that, um, I have a lot of Aquarius energy. Even my birth time, 11/11. I was born at 11:11 a.m. That's on my birth certificate. I got 11s all throughout. Aquarius is the 11th sign. I'm on 11 life path. It's like aqua energy through and through, okay? So I have a lot of air going on. I have a lot of fixed energy going on. And I just really realized through processing and journaling and really sitting with myself and meditating on what I was dealing with in that last cycle, was my usual approach was to suppress my emotions. And if I wasn't suppressing them, somebody was triggering them in a way where I gave them away, right? So if you allow somebody to trigger you and you react, it's almost like you're giving away your sacred fire to whomever you're snapping on or going off on or fighting with or being belligerent with. And to be honest with you, real talk, y'all, I've never been a reactive person. I I gotta G check your ass real quick. I will, cause don't fuck with me, right? But I've never been the type of person to be reactive, hella reactive, hollering and yelling and the neck twisting, and I ain't never been that type of person. It just ain't my style. It ain't my stilo. But I was raised around those type of women though. I was raised around those type of women. My aunties, my grandma, very in your face, Mississippi. Look, will check you quick. So I was raised around those women, but I don't know. I just always took a different approach. Because I was just extremely sensitive to their energy, and so it more so hit me in a submissive suppression kind of like way, like passive kind of way when it came to like emotions, other people's emotions, and even mine. I just kind of was like, off with your head, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I walk away, isolate, just, that was like my normal way of moving. And I wasn't really aware how it was affecting me and the consequences it had on me until shit hit the fan this last cycle. And the way that spirit works, depending on what you ask for and have asked for guidance for, They bring certain scenarios and experiences to you to deal with aspects of yourself that you are not aware of, so that you can do the work, bring it to the surface to your conscious mind, and it can stop running a program that you are blind to, um, and it affecting you in a way where you're not even aware of. So, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. That's my lighting thing. Let me just set this right here. And so that was like really, really huge for me. And so people were just, I was just being triggered back to back to back to back to back this last cycle. And it was like, I couldn't, my normal go to of suppressing my emotions was not working for me. And I was actually being affected by the situations. And at first I placed myself into like this victim mindset until I realized that no, I I've been codependent on this and that, and I challenged myself. There it is. I challenged myself out of the circumstances by reflecting. And I go into more details about this on my Patreon, how I transitioned from that to where I'm at now, shifting my energy. So check out my Patreon, y'all. It's coming soon. All of this stuff is going to be on there. You're going to have downloadable sheets. And I record myself. When I'm having these moments with myself, and my spirit is sitting with me and asking me, helping me work through, I record step by step my process and how I transition out of where I was into shifting my energy. So that stuff is going to be in a downloadable printable worksheet for you all to download on my Patreon once I release it. I'm in the process of building it with my assistant right now. So when I do release it, I will let you guys know, so you can have all the details that goes into that process and what that looks like, because I do actually have a protocol. But by going through those processes, it shifted me into where I'm at now. And what I discovered about myself, realize about myself, is I'm tired. It's like what's the there's this like meme where this like grandson and his grandfather is together, and the grandson is like digging, and he's like, I'm tired of this, grandpa. And the grandpa's like, that's just too damn bad, keep digging. Yo, like, the best way for me to explain how I felt was, I felt like, and this is another great analogy right here too to use how I felt. I felt like somebody bald headed ass stepchild. Like, y'all know, I didn't, well, y'all don't know. I'm sure y'all see, but I cut my hair off again. Just tired of it. I just recognized that it was a mask. And I talk about this on my Patreon because I had my son had a situation where we started to talk about vulnerabilities and sensitivities, and I go into how my hair is a sensitive soft spot for me, and how a lot of the things that I was dealing with too was radiating from that being a sensitivity, because I'm in a space right now where I'm like, I just want to feel free. I just want to feel free. I don't want to do the act anymore. I'm tired. And I can act, baby. I can do the act damn well, okay? And I'm not saying that I won't ever wear a wig again, but the phase that I'm in right now, I just need to be one with myself without the extra bullshit. I'm tired of the extra. So, but I go into that, that will be exclusive content because it got real, it got raw. It's a lot of background scenes. I help my son walk through his soft spots as well as a mother. Um, and so it even goes into how to help your children with their vulnerabilities. And I walked him through that and helped him build his confidence in real time. Okay, real time. So, and then also modeling it, because as parents, especially spiritual parents, a lot of times we experienced as kids too, our parents would tell us to do something, and it's not about what they told us. We never did what they told us. We did what we saw them do. You understand? And it's like practice what you preach, model what you talk about. Because you can say one thing and it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So as a parent, I am learning to model what I speak on with my son. So I actively let my son see my crash outs. I keep it real with him. Like a few nights ago, I had like a another crash out. I'm talking about y'all. I've been dealing with crash outs, but my crash outs don't look like other people's crash outs necessarily. But I just had a moment where I was not okay. I had a moment where my emotions, I was not okay, and my son was like, "What's wrong, mom?" And I was just honest with him, like, "Baby, my emotions and my mind is not okay right now." And so I need a little bit more help beyond ChatGPT and my usual methods. I need a little bit more help right now because, um, yeah. So I actually ended up going to a relative's house and having a conversation at like, wow, what time was it? I called them late. It was like midnight, and they set up and talked with me till like 5 o'clock in the morning, y'all. 5 a.m. So I kept it real with my son. Like, sometimes you're gonna have moments where you're just not okay, and that you just don't need to be by yourself trying to figure things out, and you just need support. And it's okay. So I'm teaching him it's okay to not be okay. You don't have to hide. You don't have to pretend to be perfect. You don't have to, you know, put on a happy face. You don't have to put on a mask and act like everything is okay. I'm jolly. I'm happy. Yay. Even when you're behind there and you're crying, you don't have to. And so I'm teaching him through showing him it's okay. It's okay. And then he see me doing this too. He walks past sometimes when y'all see me look over and smile or something like that, or hear something clinking in the back. That's my baby in the background. So I let him see me real and raw, because growing up for me, I my grandmother raised me, and my grandmother's very southern. She's from Mississippi, but she raised me up north, so I didn't get a chance to uh, be raised in the South. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of her approaches come from her mama, who is from the South. And so for my grandmother, she, the way she handled things, she always came off as this strong black woman. And growing up and just stepping into womanhood myself, I recognized how personally the men in my family and in my environment have these false standards for the women that they date, as well as their nieces, sisters, their daughters, to be like my grandmother. And if we're not like my grandmother, this strong black woman persona that she played, that they seen her play, then they call us weak. You know, what's wrong with y'all? Mama raised 7 kids and she did this and do. What the hell wrong with y'all? Y'all too damn weak. Y'all too sensitive. Y'all too this. Y'all too that. And it's like, bruh, she was like that because she had no other fucking choice. Not because she wanted to do and be that. She had no other choice. It was a trauma response. And you're getting upset with us because we're actually processing our shit versus suppressing our shit. And it got to a point to where me personally, I pulled away from my family because there's this dynamic to where there's a code to where my grandmother set this tone to where she treat the boys and the men with love, care, grace, and sensitivity and nurture. She has that spirit about her when it comes to the boys, men's, nephews, sons, grandsons. But in the women, she taught us to be like that to them too. So when they have a breakdown, when they need help, when they get their ass locked up, when they do something they're not supposed to do, that us as women are supposed to be there to support them. But when the shoe is on the other foot, to where a woman is having a circumstance, and I'm going to be real with y'all because I'm not perfect and I'm going to keep it raw. I've had moments in my life where I've experienced homelessness, where I was completely out of balance, out of whack. And I've been there before, okay? And nobody, not the men in my family, not even the women in my family, had not one caring fucking bone in their body about it. Nobody called me and said, hey, you want to sleep on my couch? Or, hey, you going through something? You want to talk about it? Even, hey, let me refer you to my pastor, because you know how black people is supposed to be religious. You know, a lot of them, especially in my family, they're very religious. I'm the only spiritual one. That's not religious, I'm spiritual. So somebody always trying to throw the past on you, baby. Didn't nobody try to throw no past on me. Ain't nobody had no grace. They didn't give a fuck, not one flying fuck about me, about if I was okay. It was almost like she gotta go through what she gotta go through. She gotta she gotta be strong. She gotta have thick skin. She gotta, kind of like energy. Nobody cared. And then when I always get to a space, because it's been a couple of times I've had a couple circumstances, to where I shoot up, and not only shoot up, I bypass them, and I end up bypassing them and doing well for myself. Then they like intimidated, like, so it's without getting too much into that. I want to keep it about how people put us in that position, but to look at it in another perspective, to give it, because, hold on, let me pull up this real quick, because this is going to be good. No, let me see. Let me see, y'all. Hold on. There we go. Because there's multiple aspects of this very thing, right? So that's one way of looking at it and processing it, one point of view. But looking at it from a whole nother perspective, a whole nother point of view, this was supposed to happen for me, Okay? Because I have to get to a space in my life to where I am not codependent on people, places, and things. It takes away my power and it puts me in a victim space, a victim mindset, to where I feel like systems, people, places, and things have to support me and help me, or, oh, I didn't have. So for it's a reason why I chose, my spirit chose to come back through this specific family, because that's something that I am needing to overcome or evolve past. So doing the work, and this is interesting because my north node is in Capricorn. So I'm supposed to be in this space where I'm sovereign, business minded, business formed, like it's a thing that I know that I'm supposed to be doing. So literally all of those things are just shaping me into who I am designed to be, designed to come here to be. And so that's one thing. So you'll see a lot of more details in the breakdown in real time, me dealing with my son and talking about vulnerability, sacred emotions, and that will be on my Patreon. I'm gonna keep that Patreon exclusive. Um, Another thing, so let's get back to shifting my reality. So where I'm at now, I tunneled through all of that. This past month, I've been tunneling through all of that. And somebody said I haven't been keeping track of astrology, y'all. I'm sorry, not sorry. I just been kind of like feeling through the energy, but I've been dealing with a lot of emotions. So I'm guessing we just coming out of Cancer. I know we're going into Leo, or have went into Leo season. So now for Leo season, the order of the season for me is building. So now I'm in a space, you guys, that I shifted my timeline into building. I am ready now to build sacred containers to hold my water, to hold my sacred emotions, right? In those sacred containers, I'm stepping into building, buying land, businesses, um, releasing my businesses, doing more of the things that I vibe with, echoes through the ethers, Patreon. I have products where I make my own deodorants, toothpaste, body washes, shampoos. Like my son, he was dealing with seborrheic dermatitis. And so I came up with my own recipes for dealing with that. And I made my own shampoos and conditioners for his hair. I bought pure raw ingredients, and I put some stuff together to then create his own shampoos customized by me. And so as a mom, I'm just going through life experimenting, and when things come up, I just handle them as they come. And um, that has just been like something that I've been doing. Like me and my son, we both had an allergic reaction, just itching all over our skin from the detergent that I was using. So now I'm making my own detergent. I just ordered all the ingredients a few days ago. They just came here today. So now I'm finna experiment. I got my chemistry lab. I got my stuff. I'm finna experiment and create my own laundry detergent line. So I can use my own detergents, chemical free. We ain't got all that extra stuff, and then create my own scent boosters from essential oils, or through making my own essential oils, you have like that water that's really fragrance from the scent, from the oils. What is that called again? It's called hold on. I forgot the name, y'all. I can't think of it, and I do got my book right here too. Hydrosols. Here we go. I was going to say, I know I got my book. Yes, hydrosols. Hydrosols. So it's the water residue from after you make your own essential oils, it leaves this liquid behind. It's like a clean fuel. It's called hydrosol. And you can use that in products. You can use that to scent things. Like you can use it in so many different ways. So I'll be using that in I'll be using that in in like creating some scent boosters or whatever the case may be. But yes, guys, it's just some things that I'm just like, I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, oh my God, woe is me. No, I'm finna get busy, right? I'm finna get busy, get the experiment and having fun. That's my vibe. You know what I'm saying? When I can't find an answer over here, when I can't find an answer over here, that just mean I'm meant to create it. There we go. And just take it from there. Um, but so this just shifted me into a new timeline of building, mainly around businesses. I'm in my CEO Trish mode now. And so I got a download today before I even came on to share, because at first I wasn't going to come on and share because I was getting ready to cook me something to eat. But I'm like, let me share my download really quick because this is so good. And I know we probably are in alignment, especially if we soul family right now. And so what's happening, you guys, is I am a female, but this is has nothing to do with genitalia. This ain't got nothing to do with what you was born with, because just because you was born a man also don't mean your divine masculine is activated. You understand? But what I'm saying is that me born a female, I was trained to be a female, but not a divine feminine female. That's something that I had to go through a process to learn how to be a divine feminine female. I had to unlock that energy. And now that energy is fully unlocked. I've gotten to the space where I acknowledge my emotions. I work through my emotions, right? What does it mean to be a divine feminine, right? I nurture myself. I tap into my nature, my innate abilities, which is my vibration, right? Like I just talked about, I spend 60 to 90% of my day in my lab doing stuff, doing DIY stuff, doing things that I vibe with. And when you do that, when you spend that much amount of time in the vibe, you are raising your frequency by staying inside of your vibe. And when you do that, you have the first key to manifestation, right? And so that's what I do. So I've unlocked the divine feminine energy. So now the piece that has been missing for me is the divine masculine energy and unlocking that. So that is the next step of the next phase for me, the next cycle that I just stepped into. Is that. And so when you talk about divine masculine energy, this is talking about infrastructure, right? I know the vibe, I know the frequency, I know who I am, I know my abilities, I know who I am on the inside, I know how to handle myself. That's the divine feminine. I understand my shadows and my light. I know how to work through my shadows. That's the divine feminine. Now what's being activated is the divine masculine. This is where the divine feminine energy pours into the divine masculine energy and wakes it up. So it's almost like creating a channel for your water, right? And so for that, you need infrastructure. That's the key of the divine masculine energy. It's building sacred infrastructure. This is about rituals. This is about routines. This is about creating containers to be able to hold your water. Echoes through the ether, beyond the root to the seed, is a container that holds my water. This is my water right now that I'm on here sharing with you guys, and I'm channeling it into a container called Echoes Through the Ethers, right? So that's what this is. And then so my spirit specifically was talking to me about a topic that has to do with the divine masculine energy, and that energy that my spirit was talking to me about, um, that's been highlighting today for me is tactics. So, give me a second, you guys, because I want to pull up something on the screen really quick. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Y'all, I cannot sing, but I be trying sometimes. Okay. Hold on. Let's use that and put tactic. And I'm finna break it down, y'all, because I want y'all to see how spirit be working. Hold on. And how this came to me today. It's too good. I gotta share it. Okay, hold on. Let me screenshot this because I wanna put it on the screen. I wanna put it on the screen. Okay. Did it work? It act like it did. Hold on, let me see. Let me try to pull it over, y'all. This is too good. Tactic. Screenshots. Is this it? Let me see. Yep. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay. Damn, it just took the whole screen up. Chill, little baby. Okay. Don't wash me out. Okay, maybe I will let it be the whole screen for a little while. Okay, so let's read through it, y'all. Okay, so it says, what is another word for tactic? An action or strategy carefully planned to achieve a specific end. A psychological strategy to cope or protect oneself. And other words that can be used to describe tactic is scheme, plan, method, ploy, trick, strategy, maneuver, ruse, device, mechanism, way, maneuver, approach, dodge, means, program, shift, arrangement, stunt, line path, okay, course of action, set of tactics, battle plans, game plans, military science, defense mechanism, defense, repression, maneuver, safeguard. Okay, boom. That's all I needed to see for right now for that. Okay, now take that down. This is what I want to say. So now that I done talked about that, this is the next piece, y'all. Okay. So I started channeling information. I just had this aha moment early. I'm telling y'all how spirit works so you can identify when spirit is speaking to you, right? This is to help you by just paying attention to how I say things. Okay. So I was watching a video on TikTok and this lady was talking about how men are naturally polygamous. And she was telling women to stop taking it so serious if they get cheated on. Just cheat back, shit. Or move the fuck around, get under a new one, or whatever else case may be. And for some reason, her conversation triggered a relationship that I had. And specifically, recently, not too long ago, the individual that I used to have a little connection with contacted me. And so we was talking on the phone. And so listen, okay. He was like, how you been? And I was like, I'm good. He was like, how your family doing? And I was like, I don't know, actually. I don't talk to anybody anymore. And so he goes, I guess that's my fault that, you don't talk to nobody or whatever the case may be. You cut people off. And so in that moment, I'm going to pause there. Because in that moment, I could feel something that I did not have the words to explain. I could feel something that I could not necessarily identify yet, but I could feel it. And in that moment, I knew not to respond and not to acknowledge what he just said out of his mouth. It's almost like my spirit team went like that with their hand, right? And I'm keeping it real with y'all. Listen to me. And so I didn't acknowledge that. So he moved on to the next thing. He was like, he asked about my son. He was like, how is your son doing? And I was like, oh, he's good. He's good. And so he was like, man, that little man looked just like me. I don't care what you say. He looked just like me. That ain't my real son, but man, he looked just like me though. Boy, that's my twin. Once again, I had another moment. The second moment where it was like my spirit was like, I could feel it. I couldn't necessarily identify what was going on, why, but I just did what I felt was the right thing to do for me in that moment. And I wasn't necessarily trying to connect with him. I was just listening to my intuition, my inner discernment, right? My gut feeling, telling me not to say shit, don't acknowledge that comment. And so I didn't. So he said, he paused, and I guess he was waiting for me to kind of ask him about his kids, himself. So I was like, I see you doing good or whatever the case may be. That's really dope. He was like, yeah, I'm doing great. I'm making like 6 figures now, I'm traveling, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So I'm like, okay, that's what's up. He asked me about my job. He was like, what you doing now? Ooh, I'm like, I just got a little gig through working with the FBI and doing some work with them and blase. And so he was like, oh, okay, how much that's hitting for? And I was like, it's a 6-figure job, like that. And so he go, I'm almost there. So I'm like, he just said that. Okay. I just was like, okay. I'm analyzing everything. So I didn't even acknowledge it. I just said, we just moved on in the conversation. And then I didn't ask him about his kids. I didn't ask him about his family at all because I had my own reasons why I didn't. He wasn't very kind to me the last time we had been around each other in regards to his relatives and family and different things like that. So I honestly didn't give a damn. I didn't care enough to ask or anything. And so that was pretty much the conversation. And he was like, well, you can call me anytime. And I was like, you know what? Have a good life. I hope you have a really great life. And in that conversation, I said, I take accountability for my actions in the situation and circumstances. I don't blame you for anything. I take accountability for myself because my whole perspective is this. If a person is a dog on one side of the door, just because I open the door and I'm such an angelic creature or I'm a good person doesn't mean they're going to change their behavior on this side of the door. He's a dog on that side of the door. He a dog on this side of the door. And if I let him in and he's a mangy mutt, he going to track up my floor with mud, get on my motherfucking white couch and put mud all over my shit. But at the end of the day, he is who he is. He was who he was outside of that door. And if I knew, once I know and find out who that person is, If I still deal with him, whatever I get, I deserve. Because I made a choice. In the circumstances I put myself in, I put myself in. This is bypassing, oh, well, they need to be good, better people. People are who they are. And at the end of the day, you cannot force anybody to be what you want them to be to make you feel better about yourself. How about that? So during that conversation, I was like, you know what? I take accountability for myself and everything that happened, the hurt, or whatever else the case may be through the situation. I take that back for myself, and I'm working on me. So, I don't blame you for anything. I wish you the best. I hope that you get your wildest dreams come true. And, and I kept it very high level. I kept it grown, you know. And he got to take accountability for the shit that he did. And if he don't, that's his business. But when you play victim to somebody, what you do is you give away your power, ladies. You give him your power. You make him feel like his chest is puffed up and he has lasting influence in your life. He has the power to make you feel the way you feel. And it makes a man, especially who in survival mode and who don't feel like shit about themselves, but you just made him feel great about himself. You just gave him an ego boost. So in the moment where I took accountability for myself and I would never acknowledge him as having influence in my life to mess anything up or anything like that, was the very moment that I was no longer fragmented. And I took and drew my power back to me. Now, he doesn't have any control. He don't live in my head rent free. Fuck that dude. You feel me? And so I'm sharing this because this is so important, because spirit, now, once again, let's talk about this really quick. Where is it? No, not that. Diagram, no. Hold on, y'all. This is important because that's one perspective of it, right? Now, let's shift the energy a bit, guys, because this is where things got real for me. When that popped up in my head like in a vision, it played out in my mind for me to remember in the moment. And Spirit used that to show me his true self. Spirit said he was using a tactic on you. The tactic was, if you would have acknowledged that what he had did led into you not talking to your family, what would have happened is you would have gave him an ego boost and made him feel good about himself, made him feel powerful. Because at that moment when he called me, it was a chess move. He felt very powerless and weak in his life. And so calling me was a chess move to see if I was going to feed his ego. It was a tactic. He was playing chess, baby, not checkers. And so when I didn't bite on that and Spirit told me not to acknowledge, then when he made the comment about my son, that was another way to try to get back into my subconscious mind. Because if I would have acknowledged that he reminds me of my son, every time I look at my son, this guy will pop up in my head. You see what I'm saying? And he would live in my head rent free. But when I didn't acknowledge and I didn't say anything in regards to it, I did not give him that gateway into my mind. That can be an energy siphoning tool. That can be a way for somebody to cross into your energy and siphon and pull from your magic, your energy. And so you got to watch words create worlds. So the moment that I would acknowledge that, no matter what my son would have did, I would have always seen that man in my son. You see what I'm saying? So I never acknowledged him on that. And then furthermore, he did not expect for me to say, "Hey, I take accountability for my actions. The I allowed the things that I allowed, so I got what I got. And at the end of the day, I know not to mess with and deal with people who are in survival mode anymore, especially when I'm thriving, because baby, they will bait and switch you and swap places with you, and all of a sudden they thriving and now you struggling. You are taking their karma, and now they got a boost in life from your shit. So you got to be careful. Okay, you got to be careful. And a lot of men tend to want to humble women who are doing really well and who are beautiful. A lot of men tend to want to humble women. And that was my experience with this specific individual, you guys. And so um, now to shift the energy from that, the new perspective on the situation, spirit was telling me whether you are a divine masculine or a low vibrational masculine, tactics, you can use tactics in high vibrational ways, you can use tactics in low vibrational ways. But me stepping into my divine masculine energy right now, spirit highlighted the energy not for me to stay in it, not for me to constantly repeat what he did and how he did it, but spirit used that scenario to show me how I got to step into this next segment of my life with strategy, with tactics and strategies. Listen. Stepping into the divine masculine energy of leadership, of infrastructure, I need to have tactics and strategies going forward. And so that was my introduction through my spirit team. That's how they work with me, by me analyzing and using my life as a mirror to be able to show me my next step. So not only did I heal and was able to identify something that had happened in my experiences, but also to pick up that, harness that energy, and take it into my next cycle in my journey. Powerful. Fucking powerful. And so that's how my spirit team works with me. That's how they work with me. So, you guys, if you subscribe to me on Patreon, you will see a lot of me working through this energy during Leo season going into August. Right now it's July 29th. So, going into August, I'm going to be working with sacred strategic methods and building the infrastructure of my businesses, building the infrastructure. I need to sit down and put a plan together and talk about navigation and all of these different things. So that's the next process and cycle timeline that I've shifted in. And that's how it's like it worked with something that was unhealed, healed that, and then it gave birth. It gave birth. My bad, y'all. My headphones came out. Then that gave birth to this next cycle. It's beautiful. Like, to put it like that is just so powerful. And it shifted. It got alchemized into something high vibration. I took something low vibrational and transmuted it into something high vibrational. Dope as fuck, y'all. So I'm gonna teach this science. I'm gonna have worksheets, assignment sheets, give scenarios and situations on how you can do this in your life, so you can beef up that skill and practice, so that in real time you can do this in your life too. And that stuff will be downloadable files on my Patreon. Um, yes. So I'll talk about the three different tiers of Patreons in my next live before I even release it. Because I have three different tiers of service, and I'll talk about that in my next live. But yes, y'all. So I just got that brief introduction today, so I wanted to talk about where I came from, where I'm at, and how that all led to me and where I'm at now, you know? And one of the other sacred things that helped activate this energy was me asking for help. That was another one. And this reminds me of scripture that my grandma used to talk about when I was a kid. I used to hear like the adults talk about this. They used to say something in the lines of if you take a step, God gonna take 10 or something, or 2 or whatever. If you take one step, God gonna take 10 or something like that, they used to say. And it reminded me of that because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna acknowledge that I need help, and I've been trying to do all of these businesses by myself, and that's where I've been struggling because trying to do it myself has just been overwhelming me. And when I'm overwhelmed, I shut down, and I don't get shit done. I just my to-do list, my task list just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So even as you guys begin to come in and join the family of Echoes Through the Ethers, and you guys have skills, I want to partner with people who have skills that I don't have. You know, so right now, I have the divine feminine energy. I don't need that. I don't need nobody to meditate for me. I don't need nobody to download nothing for me. I don't need nobody to talk to spirit for me. I know how to do that all on my own. Okay? I have all the businesses. I got 1,000 businesses ideas. Okay? I already got some of them written down, business plans put together. Some of them I even got some other stuff done. But I don't need that. What I need is infrastructure. So if you're good at infrastructure, you're good at wanting to help, assist me with building, if you want to help me putting my business structures together, if you want to help me with data input, because right now I'm at a place too where I bought, I'll show y'all. So I got a lot of writings. I got about 35 books I've written. I have countless journals, countless recordings on my phone. I got countless videos and just raw data that I have to organize. And so I bought a T7 shield. So this is like a SSID card. And then this is like the one, I think it has like, this is 1 thetabyte on here. The Samsung T7 card or whatever. And T7 shield. And what this does, I keep it in here. I bought a little case for it. Because this motherfucker is expensive. It's like $300 fucking dollars. But I needed this because, and I'm going to get another one too, to keep backups for these things, because my intellectual property is going to be going into these. So I'm going to be scanning everything I've ever written into here so I can keep copies on vaults for myself, because right now my garage, y'all, I ain't got no room. I got bins and bins and bins of notebooks. I ain't got no damn room. And so just getting to this space, I asked somebody for help already. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna help. So now I bought them a computer. And so they're gonna support me in just helping scan things in and organizing stuff. and it's nice because we got AI. So AI creates all the files, and it creates the structure for the folders. And so that's the beauty. I love that. So I just need hands on deck. So I got people helping me, and then I'm going to be protecting my intellectual property, getting, trademarking, corp copywriting, the whole 9 yards. Like I'm doing the damn thing. So, and I'm getting a lot of this stuff. So, and then I want to get into real estate and other business structures and stuff, so that I'm getting ready to start grant writing, and so I don't have a lot of these skills for these things that I'm getting ready to do: infrastructure, strategy, planning, tactics. So if you want to support the community of Echoes Through the Ethers as I build and expand into other communities, businesses, structures, you want to work with me, email me. And I'll put my email in the description, and I can use some support right now. So that would be great. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, y'all. And like I said, I want to work with people who are good at things that I'm not good at, so we don't have clashing of the heads. You know what I'm saying? So I learned to work with people in that sense, so we can build. If we on opposite sides of the table, where I'm good, you not necessarily that good, and I can help you out. And then on the other side, if you good at where I'm not good, and you can help me out. And it's a nice thing because it goes back and forth like this. It works. So that's how you find community. That's how you build community. And that is where I'm at as well. That's a cycle phase that I'm in as well. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. So I'm going to end this live right here. Everything else will be in the description below. Let me know what cycle you are currently in the comments below. And I will check y'all later.